Hey guys, Latoya here. Welcome to my crafty space. I was about to start working on something and then I was like, wait a second, my camera's not going. Okay, so I am going to be playing with the home and garden set, and I'm thinking about just, again, another simple card. You guys, that's pretty much like my New Year's resolution. If you don't know, I basically said I want to just have things, I just want to create as things come to me and not overthink, because oh my goodness, that's something that like has prohibited me from crafting for a very, very long time. I just think and I'm like, oh, I wonder what this looks like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just stuck in my head and I'm not actually doing anything on this sheet of paper. So no overthinking. I'm just diving in and I'm gonna stamp and color and whatever else and just go with whatever first comes to me. And once that idea is complete, if I have time, which usually I do not have time because I have a full-time job and a part-time job, I'm planning our wedding, which is this year. It's in the fall. And we also have 2 cats, which I'm pretty much cat mom. I give all the cuddles, all that jazz. Yeah, you guys, and I'm also like hustling, working out and such for the wedding because I need to fit into my dresses. Y'all, there's a lot going on, and I just started a new job like a couple weeks ago. And I'm a nurse, so I'm pretty busy. Okay, so anyhow, what I plan on doing is playing with these 3 images because they're really sweet. I personally do not currently garden. I used to garden like way back when, but it's tending to hostas really gardening. Hostas, they pretty much take care of themselves. Anyhow, so I do have a lot of different stamp sets that are like home and garden-ish, mainly garden-like, and you know, there's a lot of images with food like vegetables and fruit. So I kind of want to incorporate some of those also, but we shall see. Now I'm trying to think if I'm only going to use these images first and then do another card with some of those other images I just now mentioned. Thinking if I do this, honestly, you guys, I'm sorry, not sorry if you guys are tired of my side cascading layout, because it's a layout I like. And another thing that I want to do is just stick to doing things that I like. If I know it works for me, I am going to go with it. And this is one of those cases. All right. So now with red rubber, you're supposed to remove your foam backing that's here. Is there a cat sitting behind me? My cat literally just sat behind me on this chair. There's like no space, you guys. Sarah, did you just squeeze in? Look at that. I need to clean your eyes. Unbelievable. I tell you guys, these cats, it's like having kids. And just wait till we actually have kids. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to again do the cascading side layout. On my channel, I am all about doing what I love. I love this layout, so I'm going to do it. I have just a plain piece of cardstock here. And yes, quote unquote, you're supposed to remove the foam, but I'm not going to. And as you can see, it doesn't really impact the image. So I guess another nice ink up. All right, so now I'm going to get some Copics to color my images. I'm gonna grab a piece of scrap paper because I use one for my images in case they bleed through, which naturally occurs when you are applying enough saturation to the paper to get the colors to meld if you're using alcohol markers. And then I have a scrap sheet here just for me to place my markers on top of. If you guys can't see, I keep my Copics here on the side. This is a part of my Copic stash. my idea is still kind of up in the air, but I went ahead and I took out a piece of, I think this is Poppy Parade or Real Red. It's not labeled, so I have to go through my cardstock, but anyhow, it's one of those two colors. And as you can see here, I colored all of my garden, my home and garden images. So cute. Absolutely love this. Now I sized this down to go on top of this red background here. And oh, this is going to be my base. And now I need to fill in an area with a sentiment. I was going to do a simple sentiment, but then I saw my die cuts in my drawer and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll use one of these, do a bit of layering and give this card a little more dimension, because although these images here are nice and they are vibrant, it still isn't enough for me with this card. All right, so this is where I am right now. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to use as a filler here. And I think I'm going to use these little X stitches. I don't know what to call them. They're just little X's in the flowering tulip set, just for a little bit of detail. I guess this is like a masculine card. I wasn't really like thinking of making this a masculine card, or for someone that doesn't like things to be too fussy. I'm just pretty much going with it. Now I stamped out some X's with red and black, and then I decided I just like black better, so that's what I'm going to use. And fingers crossed this is not a hot mess, because I don't want to ruin my card. But we all know how it goes anyhow. All right. Again, I have to get used to seeing things done differently than, I mean, I would have imagined. Like, I never thought it would look like this, but again, it's fine. It's just different. Finally, I got the sentiment right. You guys, you'll probably understand. Look at this. So this was my template for the sentiment, just making sure I had the correct size that I wanted to put the sentiment over here on the side. And then I'm like, all right, let me start stamping it. Well, this was the original, but you can see like the little lines here. I had like a little bit of fuzz on my stamp. So I'm like, okay, let me redo it. I ended up smearing this one because I saw something on it and I'm like, push. But my ink literally was like seconds after I stamped it. I don't know why I did it. Your ink doesn't dry within like 0.2 seconds. So yeah, got to smear on that one. This one, it's too far off to the left. This one, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, little dots over here on the side. So if anyone else is like a perfectionist when it comes to card making, you totally feel my pain. And I finally have one that is acceptable to me. And that's this one here. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it on and literally try not to think, because oh my goodness, I cannot believe how many times I stamped this. It's utterly ridiculous. All right, you guys, my card is complete. Oh my goodness. Talk about a labor of love. Gardening labor. That's funny. Anyhow, I am really happy with this. Looking at this card, I do believe that I used all Stampin' Up! Product. Again, like I've said a few times this month, I do 2 cards a month with current Stampin' Up! Product that other people can replicate if they want to get their hands on things. Because I know I have some stuff in my craft stash that's like retired and just like super old by other companies and so on and so forth. So if you have these stamp sets and this twine, you can totally recreate this with ease. As far as markers go, I do have Copics, but Stampin' Up! Does have alcohol markers. And if you don't have Stampin' Up! Products, you can easily create this with stamps by other companies that are similar, because at the end of the day, all I want to do on this channel is make beautiful things, and you should be able to recreate them with whatever tools that you have at your disposal. But gosh, I love this stuff here. Now, I do want to mention that I did use my rectangle dies, and those are actually by Waffle Flower. Now, I don't know if Stampin' Up! Has rectangle dies. I mean, I'm sure they do. And if they don't, you can easily just like, figure out the measurements or just cut a rectangle. Literally, you're just cutting around this perfect stamp set and just layering it twice. That's it. But I still consider this all Stampin' Up! Card because all of my my ribbon, my twine, and my stamps are SU. Okay, so I hope you all do something crafty to make sure I'm happy, and I hope you guys are inspired. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.